Oversight Committee grilled former executives at Twitter, in particular about the company's handling of the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop story in the run-up to the 2020 election. One executive testified that he believes Twitter, quote, erred when it banned users from sharing a link to the story for about 2 days. But all denied Republicans' unfounded accusations of a government-directed conspiracy to censor the story, as well as conservatives in general. Democrats, now in the minority, used the hearing as an opportunity to fact-check.
Chairman Comer, I notice you blew up the cover of that New York Post story, which I appreciate you doing that because I'd like to dig into this article. The very first paragraph says Hunter Biden introduced his father to a top executive at a Ukrainian energy firm less than a year before the elder Biden pressured government officials in Ukraine into firing a prosecutor who was investigating the company. That is false. 100% false.
Is the gentleman sure about that?
Yes, in fact, I am sure about that. And as the lead counsel in the first impeachment investigation, we proved that he was actually fired because he was not prosecuting corruption.
I'm joined now by the congressman you just saw there, Democrat Daniel Goldman of New York, who also served as Democratic counsel during the former president's first impeachment involving his dealings with Ukraine. So, Congressman, how much of an effect, if at all, do you think your pushback on the chairman will actually have? Because what you were saying, what you went on to say, essentially, is that what then Vice President Biden was doing was completely in line with what U.S. policy and, in fact, European nations' efforts were to have that Ukrainian prosecutor removed because he was not actually prosecuting corruption.
Yes, and what is really dangerous about this is that the Republicans have made it very clear that they're on a mission to destroy Hunter Biden in every way they can. But Hunter Biden is a civilian. He is the son of a president. But unless there's some link to President Biden and any misconduct, then this is a gross abuse of power by this committee for political purposes. And it is a waste of taxpayer dollars, and it's outside of the jurisdiction of the committee. And the point today that I was making is that there is no link, even if you give the Republicans the benefit of the doubt, there's no link to Joe Biden. Joe Biden did everything by the book, consistent with U.S. policy. And in fact, his actions and the actions of our allies in Europe and ultimately of Ukraine were potentially hurtful to Burisma because they wanted more corruption to be charged. And so it's yet another example of the fallaciousness of this Republican investigation that has clearly reached a conclusion before they figured out the facts. And what we want to do and what we did today is we brought out the facts. Yeah. And the facts are on our side. They're not on their side.
I want to play something else you said about that today.
Chairman Comer, you have said in your opening statement that Joe Biden lied to the American people. That is a bold, bold accusation. And so far, we've seen no actual evidence of any lies or any support for Joe Biden being involved in anything having to do with Ukraine other than promoting U.S. foreign policy.
It was interesting because Chairman Comer said at a press conference in November that he had evidence and then proceeded to list a series of accusations against President Biden. Where is that evidence? Or do you have any sense of when he plans to make it public? Because it seems like they are just taking a shotgun approach, at least today, of bringing in a whole, they're going in a lot of different directions without actually citing, there's a lot of accusations, there's no evidence yet.
Yeah, and remember that last Congress, the Republicans talked on and on and on about how the January 6th committee had no legislative purpose because there is no oversight jurisdiction in Congress unless there is a legislative purpose. And investigating a civilian son of a president is not a legislative purpose for Congress. So the only justification for these attacks on Hunter Biden is that it's somehow linked to oversight of the president. But we've seen no evidence of that. And if they have no evidence, and I suspect they don't, then this entire investigation is illegitimate, overreaching, and outside of the jurisdiction, and it should be stopped immediately.
Do you think the type of hearing that we're seeing today is what we can expect from the Oversight Committee and the GOP House for the next 4 years? 2 years, I should say.
Well, I don't know what we're gonna see, but I am confident that if they bring actual witnesses who have the firsthand knowledge and they testify, and that's what evidence is. Evidence is not what the Republicans sit there alleging and accusing and saying without any support. The evidence is what the witnesses say, what the documents say. They're not going to find the evidence to support their claims. And we are all much better off if they don't waste the taxpayers' dollars, waste our time with these overreaching, purely political investigations. That's not what the American people want. That is not what the American people have sent us to Congress to do. We should be legislating. We should be trying to help families across the country, not attack the president's son, who is a civilian.
Congressman Daniel Goldman, appreciate it tonight. Thank you.